This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined with Eddie Hearn here in Shoreditch for the launch, well not the launch, but Fisher Babic press conference. Looking forward to today and how's things, mate?
Is there anything more English than Saturday? Yeah. Right? England in the quarters of the Euros and Johnny Fisher against Alen Babic in front of 7,000 at the Copper Bosch. I mean, that is like, it's going to be a great day. Really good undercard as well. I mean, effectively, this is a next-gen show that's just gone massive. But really good night of boxing. Huge step up for Johnny Fisher, and can't wait.
How big is this fight for Fisher? With it being a massive step up for him, a big crowd, like, do you feel like this is, I suppose, the biggest acid test of his career so far?
Yeah, look, for me, you know, everyone's always talked about the ticket selling ability of Johnny Fisher. I actually think it's much bigger than that. I think not only is he a British heavyweight prospect, I think he's a world heavyweight prospect. He's done the preparation in terms of top-class world championship sparring. You know, he's boxed under pressure. He's boxed in Vegas, boxed deep on AJ cards, sold thousands of tickets. So I think this is a good time for him. It's a very tough fight against Alen Babic. You know what Babic is going to do. He's going to come out, he's going to stick it on him. And Johnny's probably going to stand there and trade with him. I think this fight could be over inside 3 rounds. I think it'll be incredibly exciting. And if it goes deeper than that, it's going to start being a really tough night's work for Johnny Fisher.
Do you think that is like the narrative is changing with Fisher, as you said there, from the first early pro fights, you know, when he fought at Ali Pally and stuff and stuff like that, where the tickets were, you know, he was a big ticket seller, but now he's become more than that, as you said.
Yeah, like I said, when he first started, he had virtually 0 amateur pedigree. So no one really knew what to expect. He was young, he was heavy-handed, he was a strong boy, and he had a good chin. Actually, many of the attributes that you need to be a great heavyweight prospect. So, you know, for me, that skill set has improved with top quality sparring, with good performances in the pro ranks. You know, and now I think he stands there after this victory, which I believe he will get on Saturday, as a top global heavyweight prospect.
Looking forward to the undercard as well. Jimmy Sainz 2 fights in 2 weeks. Giorgio Visioli, Maisie Rose hopefully fighting for the
really good card. Reece Bellotti against Levi Giles, British and Commonwealth title. Absolute brutal fight incoming. Steps up for our other stable as well. John Hedges, his first title fight. Maisie Rose Courtney's got a very tough fight as well. It's a great fight. Giorgio Visioli's looked sensational. Laley sold loads of tickets. Jimmy Sainz, Lewis Pachetti as well, the heavyweight. Look out for him early doors. Really good night of boxing. Like I said, next gen card, but souped up 6,000-7,000 in there. It's going to be wild.
Yesterday you had the launch press conference for the fight of Carol Prograis, obviously the debut boxing event at the Cobb Arena. But one thing I did want to ask you, we obviously see UFC going there on July 27th. That card being scheduled throughout the night, obviously that's to do with ESPN's broadcast and that. When it comes to that, and is that a bit, would you say, sort of a neglect for the fighters, would you say, when you're going to put on a card that's through the night?
I think at the end of the day, commercially, you have to make it work. That is a pay-per-view in America, so UFC have said that's the time it starts. Tough shit. The fighters don't mind. I mean, ultimately, the fighters are getting paid. They'll fight any time they want. But I think sometimes it's a little bit of a novelty. It can be quite fun. You know, in that, the card probably won't start till 11 o'clock or midnight, so you can go out and then go there after. It could be like a nightclub for the night. I'm sure it's going to be wild. So, yeah, like we've never done that. Sometimes back in the day there would be British fight nights that would go at that time for an American audience. But because our audience is so strong now and so valuable, sometimes we don't need to do that. So, yeah, it's what it is.
Do you think it showed, you've always said about sort of almost, not copying, but idolising like the market of the UFC. It showed that the power that they have, that it's throughout the night and they've still sort of sold out and tickets are like gold.
Apparently it's a massive gate commercially at the Co-op that night. And UFC's a big brand, you know, they do great ticket sales, and, you know, I'm sure it'll be a great night.
I did want to ask you about, I suppose, an ongoing story. It's obviously the beef between your fighter Anthony Joshua and Carl Froch. When this keeps developing and obviously seeing WhatsApp messaging and that, do you feel like it puts you in like a middle awkward spot in a guess? Obviously AJ's your fighter and you have a relationship with Froch.
Really, because I'm not dealing with it. Like, I'm not talking to any of them about it. It is what it is. I don't like it. I'm sure it'll blow over. But, you know, he said something he don't like, so he said something back, and it is what it is. But yeah, for me, I'd like to see it evaporate, and hopefully it will.
Do you think this is partially to do with AJ having a big fight lined up? Is that a convenient timing, would you say?
Not really. I mean, you know, Carl had a couple of digs at AJ over the years, and AJ said something back. With Carl, he's very stubborn, which actually made him the fighter that he is. So it's like, you've got to... He'll never change his mind. That's why I wouldn't bother saying to Carl, come on Carl, like this, and actually having a debate with him, because he's made up his mind. You see with the Frank Warren stuff, even going backwards and forwards, and now he's got his channel, so he wants everybody talking about it, which is quite, not a position I thought I'd see Carl in all honesty, but two great fighters. Hopefully we can all be happy.
I was listening to an interview yesterday done on the Stomping Ground, talking to Oscar. He's talking about sort of Shakur Stevenson, and you've been open about the way that he's been promoted. Obviously, he's fighting this weekend. And when it comes to great stars and future American stars like Shakur as being a free weight world champion, do you think maybe the American promoters have potentially got lazy throughout the years?
Definitely. Sometimes it's easier to go to a cheaper venue, if you like, and not take a chance on a big venue, not take him to their hometowns, which is ludicrous. Look at what we've done with Jaron Ennis. Next week he's going to be incredible in Philadelphia, and you're going to see a superstar already born, but really reborn in Philadelphia. The thing is with Shakur, when he comes out publicly and says, I'm leaving Bob Arum, this is my last fight with him, Top Rank aren't going to push him. So you've got a guy making a lot of money that's not being promoted correctly. It's like a disaster. So, I'm sure he'll be off after this fight, and we'll see what happens. Love to have a conversation with him. We'll see.
And when you see sort of the American promoters doing that, do you make it part of, I suppose, the vision of Matchroom today? Boots has never been at Philadelphia. Let's make it happen.
It's not rocket science, is it? The kid's from Philadelphia. He's one of the best talents in world boxing. Philadelphia's a great fight city. It's a big sports city. How hard is it? It's not hard, is it? I mean, look, we've promoted the fight well. I mean, it shocked me how well it's done, really, but it's done it. And look, when we done Haney, 15,000 in the Bay. But people don't really want to talk about how successful we're being with these shows. Puerto Rico, Matias against Paro, 9,000. Bam against Estrada, 9,000. Ennis against Avanesian, 13,000. No one else is doing it. No one's doing it. And we're getting it right in America, and things are really starting to work well.
Do you think it took yourself time to get it right in America?
Yeah, of course. But listen, I'm not an idiot. I knew that coming into that market it wasn't going to be easy. I came in with a lot of bluster, but we got it really. The zone is flying at the moment. Matchroom Boxing is flying globally, particularly in America. We've got an unbelievable roster of fighters, and there's a lot of pound-for-pound fighters that want to sign with us. So things are great.
Talking about pound-for-pound signing with you, is the sign of Shakur a viable option? Do you think you have fights for him at fight?
We can do it, but it's got to make sense to us, and it's got to make sense to him as well. But top pound-for-pound fighter, and I would love to welcome him to the Matchroom team.
Eddie, thank you for your time as always. Appreciate it, mate. Top man.